Welcome back to our weekly walkthrough where we bring the above, below, and talk about the transits you should know. This is our week of June 8th through the 14th. We have new moons, ingresses, slowdowns, and benefic fatty action, oh my, in the opposite order. So rewinding to the beginning of the week, we have our very fancy Golden Empress card, and this is because there's a lot of Venusian action this week. In addition to the Leo ingress we'll have on Saturday, we also have the Venus-Jupiter conjunction that everybody has been hyping until they're blue in the face. With that, on Monday, we have the Queen of Coins reversed. And again, we got some of that shiny, glitty goodness here. And I want you to really think about how you can draw that energy into yourself. This is not the kind of energy where I'm really seeing a lot of external action, because we do have the Mercury-Saturn square the same day, or rather as the conjunction, which is Tuesday, and it's applying. And so Monday, honestly, I'm putting my eggs in the basket of those who said Monday is the better electional chart, because we do have our Pisces moon, and that mutual reception between the moon and Jupiter is phenomenal. Also, when an aspect is applying, it is stronger. So the day before that conjunction goes exact, we get a lot, but it's also the day before the square goes exact. So when we're talking about structural and communication things, when we're talking about Venus-Jupiter things that are really juicy and lovely, okay. Either way, you want to check your chart, you want to check Cancer, all that stuff, to figure out, like, how can I embody this? How can I make this sweetness, this care, this embodied beauty, like, personal? How can I bring it into my life? And with that, on Monday, we do have our exact half moon at 4 a.m. with the Pisces moon square the Gemini sun. Then we have the trine to Venus and Jupiter in the evening. And I really do love that. So like from 5 to 7 p.m., we get that really lush trine. Depending on what you're trying to do, play around with the rising sign. If you are using this for an election, and if you're not using it for an election, just do something really nice for your body this moon day. Like, really honor that. And a lot of people have been saying, just start something, even if it's small. It's a good sky to start it under. Send the email, start the conversation, do the thing you've been like, I don't know, should I? Like, Monday's a good day for it. On Tuesday, we drop into our Aries moon, which is why there is kind of a different vibe. Sextiles Uranus, conjunct Neptune, sextiles Pluto. Then at 1:59 p.m., we get the Venus-Jupiter conjunction exact. And then at 11:38 p.m., we get Cancer Mercury square Saturn exact. So I'm expecting Tuesday to be crunchier than a lot of people are promising, to be honest. Like wanting to do the good thing and then having a miscommunication mess it up kind of vibes. But with that, we do have the Death Motel reversed. And the Death Motel I do typically like, because there's this like transitory nature to it. But this is like the, when will transformation end? How long am I going to have to lose things? How long am I going to be in this? How long does the Bardo actually last? And those of you who know my personal story know I can relate to that one right now. But on Tuesday, I want you to find the joy where you can, and preemptively be like, okay, some stuff is going to go wrong, but that's okay. Because we get out of liminality by focusing on what there actually is to do instead of focusing on the horizon. The horizon keeps the weird hotel hallway going forever. It keeps the desert sprawling. Whereas when you come back to where you're standing, you remember that you were actually on your way to the ice machine. With that, we move into Wednesday, where we have that Aries moon conjunct Saturn, square Mercury, sextile the sun, and square Jupiter. This gives us Folly reversed, which is Don Quixote tilting at windmills. And there is, even though we're not still touching Neptune, the moon is still co-present there. And there is like that be careful you're not reacting to things that aren't actually happening. Be careful to check your assumptions, to hold things lightly, to question whether or not the story is true, and to not let that feeling defeat you. We move on to Thursday, and Moon square Venus, conjunct Chiron, then moves into Taurus. Then we get the Taurus moon sextile the North Node and square Pluto. And on Thursday, we have our wonderful Jinn-based Three of Coins, which is very collaborative. It's like, who are you working with? And who are you seeking to work with? This can be just like really letting yourself dream of the possibility of finding the right collaborators, the right people to build something with, the right people to start something with. And also, sometimes it's about collaborating with the spirit help we already have. So if that's your cup of tea, call in your team. On Friday, we get, and again, lots of coins this week, we have the Six of Coins. And this is a card of generosity, of giving when you have an offering from a place of security and foundation rather than depleting yourself, as well as when you are depleted, being willing to ask and receive with grace. And so on Friday, the North Node squares Uranus. So Uranus at the bendings is extra confusing, and that's at 1:20 a.m. So for some of you, that will actually be Thursday. And then we have the Taurus moon sextile Cancer Mercury and conjunct Mars. And then Cancer Mercury slows down into the pre-shadow of the retrograde. So that means everything from Friday on is the pre-game for our retrograde story. And then we have Venus square Chiron. So Friday is also a little confusing and a little potentially frustrating. But you want to start paying attention. You want to start really being like, okay, but why? And also be careful with the body on Friday. Like, ask for help if you're not physically feeling well, because that Moon Mars conjunction can definitely lead to overdoing it or potential injury. Saturday, we have the Taurus moon sextile Jupiter. And then at 4:46 a.m., we have Leo Venus. Venus ingresses into Leo, then the moon ingresses into Gemini, sextiles Leo Venus. Then we get the moon of the bendings, which is like, oh my God, all of this is great. Wait, is it? I'm super confused. What's happening? And then conjunct Uranus, which is more of that confusion. And then sextile Neptune and trine Pluto. So Saturday, I'm not surprised that we got the Joker. We have a little wild card. Like Saturday's like, I don't know, maybe everything's cool, everything's not cool. What's happening? Which is a great lead up to the new moon. It's a little baffling, and we follow, and Leo Venus is loud. That brings us back again to our very glitzy, shiny Empress. And there is a bold desire to be seen with Leo Venus, to be known and understood. And I want you to not rush that. We're going to have it for a minute. But with that Gemini moon, it will feel a little bit more electric to start. And at 8:54 p.m. is our new moon. And we get the sextile to Saturn first. But otherwise, that new moon, I think it's actually really interesting because it takes place at 24 degrees of Gemini. So it's actually trine Spica, which normally I don't do fixed star trines, but it's so tight. And in Colorado, where I am, the midheaven is going to be conjunct Spica. And so that, if you work with fixed stars, that's not nothing. Especially if you have any placements, I have my Mercury conjunct Spica. So it stands out to me. And there can be something very constructive in that. But we do have our 10 of magpies, and it's all about surprise. So let the new moon surprise you. What is it going to build? We'll find out together. Well, happy week, y'all. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions.